folks, what we have here is a Nissan Altima SR. What we're changing here is the right side passenger door lock actuator because the door lock does not open when you push the remote. So, from AutoZone, Dorman makes it 937-978. Comes at this whole big assembly like a little spider. Okay, this is the assembly. Comes with 3 cables. So I'll show you where they all attach to. Okay, has a little electrical plug right here. Looks like only 2 wires. And this is the lock. All right. So it is found inside the door, right there, with 3 screws. T30s. They're Torx. So let's start to take the door panel. If you guys followed me on my last video about this car, we just troubleshooted it. That's all we did. All right. There's a tiny little plastic cap that goes inside this door handle. All right. Little tiny screwdriver takes that little clip out. This pops out. This molding right here, your armrest, there's a little slot right in here that you stick a little screwdriver in there, and this pries right out. Right. There's a bunch of little clips all over here. For your window switch, right over here, you could just lift it up with a little screwdriver. There's a little clip over here. Okay, I just push in. Once you pull it up, there's an electrical plug. Just squeeze that little tab right there. I lost you for a second. All right, squeeze that little tab, and this will come out in your hand. Now, after all that, there are 3 screws. Okay. They're either 10mm or a big Phillips. There's one there in the door handle. There's one here in the front of the pull handle. And there's one inside the window switch right there. Alright. After you take the 3 screws off, then you've got to pull the panel off. You could use a panel remover tool with some clips. Otherwise, right over here, it's a nice little freaking handle over here. Got a little inch over here that you can grab. Just pull it. Pull it all the way around. There's a bunch of little clips. Once you get the clips out, then this door panel just lifts up and out of the way. Now what you're going to see back here is going to see these cables. Alright, so let me see if I can put this camera down so we can figure out how to take this cable off for you. Okay? And there's a little thing down there too. We'll figure that out. That might be a light. Alright, so let's go and disconnect this. Alright, once the door panel is off, you notice it has this little extra wire on the bottom. This extra wire goes, on this particular model, goes to a blank space. It has a plug here, so I'm assuming you could put a sensor in here or something. But in order to release this, okay, I got it from the back. So in the back over here, if you notice, right here, there's a tiny little tab that I pushed over. This tab and this tab. And then I bent it over. You can't take it out because for some reason, they put a little melted rivet over there. So this panel doesn't come up. But it can lift out of the way for you to release these 2 little clips. And once you push it in, you're actually going to push it out and then suck it back in through the hole so you can release it. So now that part of the door panel is done. So now we're going to work on those 2 little clips over here. All right, to release these cables. So let's do that. All right, so from what I see on these cables here, okay, they all disconnect from this plastic body over here. So you're just going to pull them out like that. Then over here, you line it up and you pull it out of the little slot, out of the little ball over here. And same thing over here. There's a little slot. See if I can film it here. Okay. Once you pull it out, you line up with this little line here, and that ball will come out. All right. So let's put you back on the tripod so you can see. What I'm going to do first is I'm going to pop these 2 cables out of the holder over here. All right. All right, let's see if I can work over the camera so you guys can see. Let's go with the top one here, okay? that was fast. All right, so this popped out of here, people, and this lifts up out. Okay, has like a little L. If you got to this one, okay, once you pop it out, you turn the ball around so it lines up with this line, and that pops out. Look at that. Popped out, even in my hands. All right. So now we're gonna go and put this off to the side. Want to take this cover off. This is like little dum-dum tape that we used to call back in the days. We're just gonna peel it back so we can get access in here. All right, so I see 2 cables. Wonder where the 3rd cable goes. All right, let's check it out. Let's peel the onion here. And we'll tape it back. All right, so I peeled back this little clear piece, taped it out of the way. These are the 2 cables. Inside handle and the door lock. The other cable makes a big loop and it goes to the outside door handle. So it's in there somewhere. Okay? But watch where the cable is. Right there, see the blue tape? That cable's on the outside of the door handle. So you can't see where the ball goes. So that means this door handle has to come out in order for you to use that cable to replace the with the new cable. So what we're gonna do is just gonna show you on here. Okay, show you right here. This is the cable that goes to that handle. The way it goes is that it loops, makes this circle over here like this, and then it's gonna go up like this into the handle. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna see if I can get this one out first, because remember, look at this, it's got a window track in there. Okay, there's the lock, there's a window track. So hopefully I don't have to do anything with the window track, except maybe just loosen up this nut and move the track back a little bit. But anyway, what I'm gonna try to do is I'm gonna try to use the original cable, and I'm gonna release it out of the lock. So there's a little clip over here. Move this clip out, turn this up, has a nice little handle here. Turn this up and release it out of this lock here. So if I can just use the original cable, I don't have to disconnect it from the handle up on top. All right, so that's the plan. So I'm gonna take the 3 bolts off to the side here, see if this lock will come out through this little hole opening. Right, Mr. Waffles? My buddy's over here, he's helping. All right, let's try to do it. All right, so I took that 10mm bolt out, and I was gonna slide the channel out that way a little bit and get it out from underneath, or just bring it past the channel, because the channel actually stops around here. But guess what? This is a 2-piece channel. After you take the 10mm bolt out, this slides right out. Check that out. So Nissan made it nice for you to change that lock. So once that's done, then this thing here is going to come out, except for the wire. That's the short part. All right, so let's unplug this wire. Looks like a little tab over here. All right, because this is as far as the wire is going to come out. Okay, so there's your lock, and there it is. So let me try to figure out how to get this little thing off. Looks like it's in the back there by this tab over here. I just got to squeeze it. All right, let's do that. Boy, they don't make these tabs easy to a thing. But you know what? I was able to pull it out, swing it this way, and then you can see the tab. So even by squeezing the tab, I couldn't get it out. I stuck a little screwdriver in it and lifted the tab. So I just lifted that little silly tab there to unlock it from here, and here I am. All right, so let me just look at this cable, because like I said, if I can use the original cable on the new system, then that's what I'm gonna do. It'll save me from taking the door handle out. All right, so let's try to figure it out. All right, inquiring minds wants to know. You cannot use the original cable system because it's a totally different locking mechanism. All right, you notice on this one here, the lock is on this side. On the factory one, The lock is on this side. So the cable has to be disconnected from the handle. So now we're gonna figure out how to get the handle out. All right, let's do it. So the whole thing has to be changed, people. Let's figure out the handle. All right, starting on the handle. Right over here on the side of the door, there's a little rubber plug. Pop that plug off, and then inside there's a T30 Torx. When you unscrew the Torx, it's not going to come all the way out because it's held down with two little clips, one on top, one on bottom. So keep spinning till it feels like it's loose. And then once you come outside over here, what you want to do is you just got to pull this chrome piece off, and it comes right out. Okay? So now we're going to get to the handle part, or at least where that cable is. Let's do that. All right, on the inside of this handle on this car has a little plug. Okay? Just push the little tab and unplug it. Okay? Because it's going to come out with the outside door handle. So the outside door handle, like most handles, you're just going to slide it towards the back, towards the fat part. All right? Slide it towards the back, and then it should come out in your hand. But this one is going to come out with that connector. All right? So the way this is just, that's the way it locks. That's the locking mechanism right there. Going to go in, grab it, and you're going to lock it in. Okay? Right. We still got to get to the other piece. Step by step, people. Step by step. All right, so here's one of the little secrets. There's little tabs on these little gaskets over here. That's what's holding this whole unit from sliding. So you take your fingers off and you just peel them back a little bit, like this. Okay, see the little clip here? These little tabs here actually are holding in this piece from sliding. So I took one off. I'm gonna take this one off. All right, see these little tabs? There's two of them. They go into these little tiny slots. Now, once you take that off, what looks like this whole unit here is gonna slide to the left. There you go. Now it fell out of my hand. All right, because it actually grabs over here. Those two tabs right there, that's what it grabs onto. So yeah, so that's the locking mechanism right there. Take those two little gaskets off. This thing is gonna slide off, and now it's gonna fall inside. All right, so it fall inside. I release it off this piece here, this clip, and that whole assembly should come out with this lock. So let's do this. Take it out with the handle. Check that out, people. All right. Woo. It's crazy. All right, so we know how to do a handle now. Guys want to know how to do a handle? This is the way we do it. All right, so I'm going to swap everything over. I'm going to pop this out of here. Straighten out the cable so it lines up with this slot here. And that ball would come sliding right out. And I put the new cable back in. Then this whole assembly gonna go back in. All right, so let's try to figure that out. All right, here we are, guys. We're going to get this little piece off the handle. And I'll put my new lock in. All right, so let's see. So this is gonna go in here like this. All right, it's just a ball, so I'm gonna pop this out of here. Line this up, so it comes out of this slot here. Dun, 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 dun. Come on. There it is. All right, so the new one's gonna go in like that. Come down and lock into the handle. There you go. Easy peasy after you take the handle off. All right, so now, like I said, this whole assembly with the lock assembly is going to go in as one piece. And the old one came out as one piece. There she is. All right, you got it. All right, so I got it all assembled. I'm going to tuck it in here. All right, I'm going to line up the little tabs. Put the tabs in there. I'm going to lock it. See if I can do this here. So line up the tabs, and then I'm going to slide it to the left and lock it in place. If I had my other hand here, it'll be a lot easier, but yeah, just going to line up those tabs in there, and then slide it to the left, and that's going to lock it. So let me do that. I got to put this camera down. All right, there it goes. All right, let's see. See, loose, and lock it to the left. Okay, then you come back outside, verify that one is on, the other one is not. All right, so I need my other hand. You gotta lock it in. It's gonna be looking like that on both sides. So let's do it. All right, there you go. Did it from the outside. Stick your finger in there. So there, that's locked on the tab there. That's on the tab there. Now I'll take these little gaskets. Okay, I'll line up these little tabs here with there. And when I lock them in, you gotta put this side in first. Okay, this side's gonna go in the metal, and then lock, lock. There you go. Okay, same thing with this side. Put it in there. Okay, once those tabs are in there and it's locked, this thing is not gonna slide no more, no matter what. Okay, next thing is right here, people. I'm gonna take the connector that's gonna go in the hole first. Make sure it's all the way in. Dun, 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 dun. Okay. Then the handle's going to go in. Okay. Once the handle goes in, it's going to slide to the right. There you go. Double check it. Okay. So it goes in on an angle, then you slide it. There you go. Then the chrome piece goes on. Same way. And then you're going to tighten up that T30 screw. Okay, people? Like that. Now you're going to go nice and easy so you don't strip it. You're going to tighten up that T30 screw, and that should lock that little chrome escutcheon on, all right? So let's do that. All right. That's tightened up nice. Chrome is on. Handle works. Let's put the rubber plug back in, and we'll continue with the lock. All right, we're going to put the connector on. Line it up the right way, snap it together. Dun, 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 dun. There you go. And on top here, see that little rectangle piece there? It's going to slide on this clip, and that's what holds it. All right, so you're going to line it up in there. You have to look up here. All right, slide that in there, and that'll hold it up there. There it is. Okay. Slides onto that little plastic clip. That's that. Now the way this the lock goes, it actually falls just the way it is. All right, it's going to go like this. It's going to loop up, down, and then up. So this little foam piece here is actually going to sit right there in that clip right there. That's what holds it. All right, then I'm going to put in the 3 screws in here and hold it up before I do the track. All right, so like I said, this little piece of foam on the original one was in here with this clip. All right, then I'm gonna go plug it in. Could have plugged it in before we put the latch in, but it's pretty simple to just get in there. Just find the plug and just push it in. All right, now it's latched. Now I'm gonna put the track on. The track is gonna meet up in there. Okay, so it's going to go in there, line up with the rubber to the rubber, and then the 10 millimeter bolt will go right in there. All right, so let's do that. All right, so there it is. So I'm going to stick it in there. All right, there's the channel. Okay, locked up in there. Looks straight to me. All right, those clips go on the outside of the channel. 10 millimeter bolted in. Now to finish the rest of it. All right, so basically it's just put the door panel back on with these 2 little cables, And this bogus, fake looking, I want to be a courtesy light thing. All right. And that's it. And before I put the final door together, I'm going to check the windows and make sure it goes up and down, and check the door locks. All right. So, do you remember how to put these on? Come on, I'll show you. Let me clean up a little bit so it looks like less of a mess here. All right. See, we're going to put this little piece, this fake little wire in here. Like I said, take this cover off. I have to take this, stick it back in through the other side. Okay. Dun, 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 dun. And then I had to come back around and clip it back in. It's kind of insane. But flip it around this way, and I want to clip it in. One, two. See that? And it does nothing. Absolutely nothing. But anyway, so we're going to clip this in. Clip and clip. That's it. There's your fake little light. Now we're going to go with the door panels. With these things up here, right? Let me set you up to hook those guys up. All right, let's try it. The best visual I can do here, because I can't hold the camera. The ball is going to go in here. The wire is going to line up with the slot. Come around, and we're locking in place. See that? Next one. This is a hook type. So this hook is going to go in this hole, like so. Come around, and this is going to lock in there. There you go. Check the operation. This is the handle, and this is the lock itself. Okay, there you go. Looks good. Next thing we do here is we're gonna grab the electrical wire for the power windows, stick it out here. Now I'm gonna put the door panel on. All right. I'm just gonna hook it up to the top and just let it dangle. Because what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna double check everything works before I snap on the door panel itself. All right, so with that in mind, there you go. So with that in mind, I'm going to get the little switch, turn on the power, and get everything going. Let me get my key. Okay, here it is. Let's get the switch, tap it in there. Okay, let's look at the door lock release there, because that's what we're trying to fix, right? You can go into lock, unlock. It's hard to see it black, but you can see it. Let me see if I can move it up a little closer. See? It releases because the door is open. So this is lock, and then it opens up. All right, let's go with the window. Let's go this way. So that means it lined up with the guide right. Nothing's binding. One more time. Perfect. Because you had that guide wrong there. The window would have clashed already. All right. So that's it. I'm going to snap this door panel together and then call it a day. All right. Do you remember how to do it? Snap all the clips all the way around. Snap the window switch assembly in. Oh, wait, stop. Snap the door panel all the way around. Put your 3 screws in. 1, 2, and 3. All right, it's those Phillips screws or the 10mm. Then put the switch in there. Okay. Then put this L armrest handle that just clips on, and then clip on your little one that's hidden in there. All right, and then you're good to go. All right, yep. There's the Dorman fix right there. 937978, and that's what the whole contraption looks like. Okay, comes with a lock, 3 cables. Long cable goes to the door handle. One goes to the lock mechanism that's in the door, and the other one is the inside release handle. All right, That's it. You guys are done. Thanks for watching.